Hey, hello everybody. My name is Pessilus, and this is Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix on the good old PlayStation 4. And this is going to be speedrun of Terra Story on the hardest difficulty. So, Birth by Sleep's unique in Kingdom Hearts games in that there are 3 different characters to play through. They each have their own stories, and each of their speedruns offer very unique challenges and experiences. Terra Story's by far the most difficult, for a wide variety of reasons we will get into, but generally his dodge isn't as good as the other 2 characters, and he doesn't have access to as good damage as the other 2. But this is Orbs, this is the first fight of the game. We're really just trying to knock orbs into each other. Finishers knock orbs away, so do 2-hit combos. Ideally, we knock the orbs into each other, that's how we do that. Few things to notice about how the game works. The little first-person thing I just did is called a shot lock. That uses the focus meter down at the bottom. There are different types of shot locks that do different types of attacks. We're only going to be using Shadow Brave, which is the one we just did, and Flame Salvo later in the run. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we have this deck of things called commands. What you would think of normal RPG abilities, like any type of attack or item or anything like that, in Birth by Sleep, it's a command. It takes up 1 slot in a command deck that can hold up to 8 commands at once. And you scroll through the commands, you use it, the command goes on cooldown, and you can use it again later. And the idea is these commands level up, and you can actually combine leveled up commands to make stronger commands. And we're going to use that to try to get some of the most broken commands as quickly as we can. So this first fight, we're going to use the D-Link mechanic. The D-Link mechanic takes up the little blue bar near Terra's portrait, and it's basically summons in this game. The weird thing about D-Links is they can level up. They level up twice per D-Link, and the level up's completely random. It's that little flower drop, and that kind of determines if we level up or not. Kind of strange. In this force fight, we want Ven to get a level, and ideally Aqua will get 2. But as long as Aqua gets 1, we're in pretty good shape. If Aqua doesn't get any levels, we're still in pretty good shape. It's Ven that we need more, and odds are pretty good you'll get that one. So I'm going to go pick up some chests that are primarily going to have commands I'll sell later. I want to note that we equipped EXP0 earlier, before we even got in this world. EXP0, you only have access to it on crit, I believe, and it cancels your character's ability to get experience, so you're at level 1 the entirety of the run. But that's actually the fastest way to play both every character in this game except for Terra, just because EXP0 has this hidden property where finishers do extra damage based on the level of the world you are in. So it basically ensures that we're always at the damage floor, so we always do decent damage at any point in the game, and it also allows for some insane combinations later on. But again, we're just running around, doing story stuff, picking up a couple commands. If you slide dash off an enemy, you can dodge out of it. It's fast movement stuff. But here is the first boss in the game, good old Wheelmaster. The reason we wanted a level in Ven D-Link is because D-Links actually get passive abilities based on the levels that they get. Ven's passive ability is a attack haste. Literally you attack really, really quickly, as you can see here. So the ability to attack really quickly, along with how many hits his finisher does, lets us knock him over very quick. Get him to this phase where he's invincible, then he's going to charge. We get in front of it, hope that he stops, like he did there, and then we just murder him. There's a couple different RNGs that he can give you based on if he runs into you. That's a pretty good RNG pattern. At this point, a couple of different worlds open up. We're going to go to Dwarf Woodlands. Mostly because commands... Basically, the easiest way to get commands in this game is either through a chest or through buying it from the Moogle shops. And different commands get unlocked after different Moogle shops. By the way, cool movement tech here. You can just shot lock straight up here, because Sonic Shadow moves Terra instead of having Terra shoot anything. It's cool. But basically, Moogle shops unlock certain commands based on how many worlds you have completed. We really want to unlock Magnets and Thunders from the Moogle shops. Without Magnets and Thunders, doing Castle of Dreams just really sucks, so we would much rather do Dwarf Woodlands because we can get through it easier. So little sequence break, if you go up here and sliding dash over, you're not supposed to get this Vision Chest until you have High Jump and later abilities, but yeah, they didn't think about that for some reason. Going to do a menu where I equip some more commands. On Crit, you have access to 6 command slots at the start, so I'm just filling it up to level commands up a little bit. And now in this Force fight, we get to see just how powerful Aqua D-Link is. Aqua D-Link gives us access to Magnera and Thundara. Magnet Thunder is just an incredibly potent ability in this game. See, I was trying to get Aqua level 2 and screwed up a bit there. Like, the Magnet Thunder, it just, with the combination of that and EXP0, since they're both finishers, it just destroys people really quickly. And the thing about commands in this game is that if you use a command in a D-Link, you can leave the D-Link, get enough blue orbs to re-enter the D-Link, and if you do that, you can quickly cast a Magnet, cast a Thunder, revert, get back in the D-Link, and then the Magnet and Thunder are no longer on cooldown. So that allows us to do some really cool things where you just spam like crazy, as long as you know the type of enemies you need to be looking out for to get those blue orbs. So we got Aqua D-Link level 2, which is very good for this fight coming up. We're just going to make our way over. There's a lot of small movement stuff you can do with Terra because his dodge is very weird. But anyway, this is Magic Mirror. So, Magic Mirror is a very strange fight. Essentially, what we have to do first is hit him, I believe, 8 times, and then he will fall over. Go and hit him 3 times there, go into Aqua D-Link, start spamming some abilities, which will make him fall over. Then, once he falls over, we have to see what he does. This is the best RNG pattern. We want to see him fly up in the air. Then we get here, we use our finisher, and the finisher holds the face in place for for an extended period of time so that he gets hit by the Mind Square more than once. That means if we look at his health now, it went from over a full bar to practically nothing. A perfect fight would be he just goes up in the air immediately and you kill him without him getting a chance to do any attacks back, but that's very difficult to do, and it's RNG if he goes up in the air immediately or not. He'll always do it eventually, though. So, menu time. We're going to sell everything that we have at this point, except Stun Edge and Zero Gravity. We got the Stun Edge at the start of the game. Zero Gravity we got in a chest. We're going to buy 2 Fires, 2 Thunders, a Cure, 2 Magnets, and 2 Binds. Basically, none of these commands for the command itself, but for stuff that we can meld with it later. We're going to equip our Magnet Thunders now, along with a Cure, because we want to level up, and Flame Salvo, which is a new shot lock. You'll see that used very prominently later on, as we go into Castle of Dreams. So, the music's very, very sad here. I don't know why. We roll with it. But these floods are a pain in the butt Floods act a lot like shadows in the first Kingdom Hearts. They like to go underground, be a real nuisance sometimes. But Magnet Thunder is by far our best option against mob fights. Just because of how it allows us to control where the mobs are, and it kills them very quickly. One note, I got a Wellspring drop there, which is very good. The item drops you see in the little red spears, they are items that if you combine them with commands you are melding, will attach certain commands to attach certain abilities to the commands, like Leaf Bracer and Second Chance and Once More and that sort of thing. Wellspring gives us Once More. Getting that in a drop means we don't have to get a chest, which means it saves about 8 seconds. You can see Flood being annoying here. This is Cinderella Escort. Essentially, Cinderella walks forward whenever there's not enemies standing in front of her. So our whole objective here is just to try to clear out the enemies the best that we can, and make her path clear for as much of this run through the room as we can. It's like, they all spawn in the same place, so I'm just kind of waiting for my magnets to come back so I can best space things out, best kill things. I got a fleeting drop there, which is also very nice, because fleeting drops give us attack haste, which means my attack commands reload quicker. That's very good. We want to have as many of those through the run as we can. So this way we have to kill 2 of these big boys before the wave behind them will spawn. So we'll do that the best that we can. Kinda got away from us, so we'll spread things out. Make sure that all our commands are on cooldown as long as they can be. Like, generally if your commands are off cooldown, you want to try to find a way to use them. It's more effective to do that than to just have commands sitting. But this whole fight isn't too horribly difficult. We're mostly focused on our commands leveling up and on just making sure no one trolls us too badly. We wait on that stair ledge to make sure Cinderella goes up that way, because if we wait for her to come back this way, we can skip a good 3 waves of fights that the game wants us to do. We still want to spawn these boots, because in this cutscene, when the escort ends, we still kill the boots, which means our abilities still get experience and we still have a chance at drops. But, yeah, Cinderella Escort. It's not too horrible. It's fairly consistent. The only real inconsistent thing are the floods. No soothing drop, so we have to get that. The soothing crystal will give us an HP boost, which raises our max HP a little bit. That's incredibly important for exactly one fight. I'll explain that fight when we get there. Okay, I always call this guy Music Maestro. I don't think that's his actual name, but I can't help it. That's what I call him. So, like, for this fight, Aqua, again, very, very powerful. Mostly because the magnets actually hit the instruments. Also, her finisher with all the orbs is very powerful against this guy. So we can use the magnets to get these instruments out of our way. And in the meantime, we can kind of just get up our finisher and wail on this guy. How finishers in this game work is, if you're in a D-Link, just doing any command fills up the meter in the top left, which will eventually give you a finisher. That was a very fast finish, by the way. And it's the same finisher every time. If you're not in a D-Link, then using certain types of commands will get you what's called command styles. Like, if I use a bunch of fires, I will get in a command style called Firestorm, where all my attacks are fire-based, and I get a finisher that's throwing fire, and that sort of thing. They have the same thing with Thunder and Blizzard and that sort of stuff. Okay, so those types of command styles are stuff I will be abusing more in the next world. First, menu time. Lots of menus. All these commands we leveled up in the last world are going to meld. I want a Thundara. I can get it with attack haste, which is great. I want a Magnera, and I also want a Cura. The Magnera I'll put in my deck immediately. The rest has to wait, because pretty much everything we bought back in Dwarf Woodlands that we haven't leveled up yet, we need to equip now. Counter Hammer, we're putting in. It's great for exactly one fight. And Air Slide is important for movement stuff. Another peculiarity of this run is you'll notice I will never change my Keyblade. Like, changing Keyblades in this game literally does nothing. Like, actually nothing. It doesn't affect anything as long as you have the XP0 equipped for whatever reason. So you have to fly around, do some more story stuff. Nothing too taxing. And now we get into one of the harder force fights in this game. This one's hard because we only have the one Magnera in our deck, which means we're going to have to get kind of crafty in order to control these mobs to the best of our ability. So we're going to start with Aqua, pop the Mine Square, which puts these little mines on the ground. Okay, that actually killed the whole wave, which is very, very good. That means we can quickly dispatch of these next couple waves without much of a problem. Aqua's finisher can kill a couple of these guys. We need 2 of these guys killed for the next wave to spawn. Got hit out of my attack, which is unfortunate. And now the last wave will eventually come in my magnet, and that's a pretty good fight other than that guy not dying. I'm not sure how he didn't die, but you know, these things happen. So what you'll notice is my D-Link actually isn't fully back. It's of a darker blue than otherwise, so I have to fill it up. Before I do that, I'm going to turn around. There's a Moogle back here. I want to buy 2 Fire Dashes and a Magnet. All this for melting stuff. And I need to kill a couple Floods because they drop little blue orbs to get my D-Link back. And now we're going to do a little bit of farming in this room and also a little bit of item grabbing. So we're going to kill these guys, but also over here we have a Fleeting Crystal, which means more attack haste, and we have a Thunder Surge in a chest. Thunder Surge is the best command in this game. Like, for a lot of reasons. It hits things multiple times, it gives you a lot of iframes, it does a good amount of damage, it's very good. We make sure we get our binds to level up in this room. Then we make a couple Ignites and a Cura. And our command deck at this point is going to be a Thunder Surge, 2 Fire Dashes, 2 Ignites, a Magnera, and a Thundara. It's like, so what Ignite is it's a damage over time spell. It's you cast it and it deals a set amount of damage to an enemy over time. It doesn't stack, but because we are at level 1 and the hardest difficulty, like, it does the same amount of damage over time on the hardest difficulty as it does on the easiest difficulty. So Ignite just works very well for us on a scaling point of view. The Esnua chest we need for melding later. The Blackout chest we just need to sell later. Make sure we have enough money. And finally, we will make our way over to Trinity Armor. Trinity Armor is a very difficult fight. You have to attack them in very specific ways in order to get the command styles you want when you want it, and in order to deal amount of damage to each body part. Because basically this guy has 3 different body parts. These Magnets and Thunders we're doing deal damage to all 3 of them, but the Fire Dashes and whatnot only deal damage to 1. So we're going to use our Fire Dashes to get into Firestorm. Use this finisher at an exact angle where it does good damage to both the legs and the arms above it. Now we need to kill these legs. Because in the meantime, he's going to charge this Mega Death Laser. And this Mega Death Laser literally kills us in one hit. It's something we don't really want to deal with. If it hits me, I'm dead. There's also a lingering hitbox like that. Yeah, where it's off screen, it can still hit you. It's good fun. Like, want to avoid that as much as possible. But we did good damage to the arms/propellers in the meantime. So we can get in our Firestorm command, and now we just have the head left. Little white orbs, he's invincible. He's going to do a Mega Death Laser again. Fortunately, he didn't think of us standing under his head, which is very fortunate for us. So we're just going to hang out. You know, hang out, have a cup of tea, check the time. Nothing too concerned about over here. But fortunately, he's dead. And we didn't even have to use the Firestorm finisher to finish him off. That if you so much as do a Firestorm finisher in a wrong place in that fight, it becomes very hectic very quickly. So D-Links pull you to the ground, just like that. So we're going to use Ven D-Link for just a little bit of movement. Like I said, if you hit an enemy with a sliding dash or a fire dash, you can immediately dodge out of the dash, which makes that the fastest way to move in this game. You just have to know where and when to do these dashes, and even then, it sometimes doesn't want to work. But our next boss is all the way over here, so we just gotta make our way through. Great thing about being on level 1, they don't have to worry about any real grinding of any kind. That fire chest is just for selling. We need a bunch of commands to sell to get what we need in the endgame. Say hello to Brig. You'll notice he doesn't have a scar or an eye patch. That's kind of what we're here to do. Anyway, he's just like KH2. He's going to go up here, shoot some things at us. We don't have to block it. We can just whack it back at him. It's pretty neat. His whole thing is he's going to shoot at us, and we're going to ignite him back. So he starts on the ground. We can use the Thunder Surge when he charges up. And basically, he shoots, we ignite. He has a little glitch where he did there, where you will ignite him, and he doesn't take any damage, and he does the shooting animation, but doesn't shoot anything, which is a pain for obvious reasons, but not a lot that can be done. And he's going to come back down, do this a couple more times. After he shoots at you, both hanging upside down and on the ground, he will go in the middle and spin around you. Couple ways to interrupt it. You just have to hit him. The best way is if you can get an ignite off like that, and it can damage him while he's up there shooting at you. But yeah, that's the Brag fight. Assuming that the blocking goes well, it's not a horribly difficult fight, but it is a very, very, looking for the right word. It's not necessarily a difficult fight, but you cannot make a mistake. If you make a single mistake in that fight, he will murder you for it. And that's kind of the nature of it. But Radiant Garden, for all three characters, kind of signifies the halfway point in the game. It's where all three of them come together, they meet up, like their stories converge, then they split apart again. We have 3 worlds unlock after that. So the one we're going to go to first is Disney Town, because Disney Town is pure mini-games, and we want to get that out of the way. So the magnet I bought earlier, I'm going to put it in my deck now, because I just unlocked the space in my deck to do so. I could only have 7 before. And welcome to Kingdom Carts. You can have a little boost for like Mario Kart and everything. And yeah, this is 2 minutes of racing around. It's a good time. The only real tech here is if you press and hold square and move your analog stick, you can very quickly change directions without losing a lot of speed, like that. These racers behind you have unbelievable rubber banding. No matter how far ahead you get, they'll just catch right back up until the last lap. And these tornadoes can hit you if you're not careful. They are a consistent cycle, so if you know what you're doing, you can avoid it without too many problems. But if you get hit by the tornadoes in the last lap, you lose the race, and then that's a couple minutes you're losing, because you have to do the race over again until you win it, and yeah, it's not fun. But basically we have to do this 5 times, take the shortcut, drift around a couple corners. A good rumbling racing is anything under 2 minutes. Typically, my best is a 158. 158 something or another. That means that I did my thing and didn't miss any cycles or anything. The only real thing of actual note is what I call the voice clip RNG. It's which one of these ducks catch up to you and which thing you hear them saying. Like, Later Alligator's my favorites. I know other people like don't mind me quite a bit. I don't think anyone likes the thing. It's not very fun. But the only other real thing of note in this world is that if you have your profile set up in a way where you only have one completed character, and it's a character you are not currently playing, then you only get one cutscene at the end of Disney Town. Less to skip, saves like 5 seconds. So we're on to Olympus Coliseum. Olympus Coliseum starts off with a pretty simple mob fight. We're just going to go around in a literal circle and magnet thunder people. You will notice that I'm intentionally slapping these guys with my Keyblade in between magnets and thunders. That's because, for whatever reason, magnets thunders in the PS4 version kill enemies so quickly that you literally level up your commands more if you just throw one Keyblade swing in there. Because otherwise they die so quickly from the 2 commands that they don't level up nearly as much. It's very, very strange. But the hitting thing with the thunder just ensures that everything is leveled up the way that we want it. So Hades will give us into 10 rounds. If we die here, we have to do it all again. It's a pain. Fortunately, none of the rounds are too bad, because Magnet Thunder against mobs is just incredibly powerful. The main thing we're looking for here is, 1, do we get any type of item drops? Like, do we get any commands we can sell, or do we get any pulsing crystals, or wellspring crystals, or anything like that? We have the wellspring, so that's cool. We're also looking for our commands to level up. We need our fire dashes to both be at level 3 at the end of this. And we also need our flame salvo to be level 4 at the end of this. Which we should have done enough grinding beforehand, that little bit of grinding that we did, that we shouldn't have an issue with that. That should be something that's well in hand for us. But pretty set patterns for when you get your magnet back, when you can get your thunder back. This guy's trolling me a bit, but what can you do? Hey guys, nice to see you. Yeah, there we got a pulsing crystal, which is great, because you need a pulsing crystal in order to get second chance, which is kinda necessary for the end of the game. In this run, because, you know, trying to go fast, I skipped the safety chest for pulsing. There's a chest in Castle of Dreams you can get for pulsing crystal that's like 5 seconds out of your way, that in any type of marathon setting I would absolutely grab. The wellspring chest, you just depends on if you have it or not. And last wave, Bunch of magnets and thunders kill them. Jellies are actually very scary. They can kill you quickly, but if you know what you're doing, not too bad. So, quick menu here, Stun Edge and Magnet. Remember that Stun Edge we had all the way back at the start? That's used for Magnera now. We're replacing our Fire Dashes with Cura, equipping our Magnera, and equipping Sonic Impact. Sonic Impact is attacked on Dash. It's not great, but we need it for movement. Welcome to Zac. Zac 1 is a deceptively difficult fight. Essentially, we're going to Ignite and Flame Salvo him a couple of times to get some damage taking. Then we're going to go over to him, 2 hits, Ignite, Thunder, see if he attacks. He does, so run and Thunder Surge. Then we're going to hit him sometimes while we're in Firestorm. Kind of making sure our Ignite is on him at all times. We want to see the little animation of fire around him. And essentially I'm trying to get him in this corner so my Firestorm finisher hits as much as possible. It didn't hit that much, which isn't great, but we'll make do. And essentially, at this point, we're just igniting and Thunder Surging until he dies. He can retaliate in really odd ways at really odd times, so handled that one well. Now for Zac 2. This one is a doozy. So, Flame Salvo. The reason we got it is because Flame Salvo iframes are incredible. Basically, he's going to start off doing his Desperation move immediately, where he does this flashy attacking thing. You can dodge it, it's very hard, like, not worth it. But we can instead Flame Salvo through it, then you do 1 hit Ignite, he'll retaliate, 2 hit Ignites, he'll do Desperation move again, and now we loop him. So go through all this again, hopefully get 51 on the shot lock, 1, 2, Ignite, he'll retaliate, 1, 2, Ignite, he will do the Desperation move. We Flame Salvo straight through that thing. We have Gold Rush instead of 2 hits now, so once we get out of the Flame Salvo, do the Gold Rush, Ignite, retaliate, 1, 2, Ignite. We use up the rest of our focus. We can't use any more Flame Salvos in this fight, but that's perfectly fine. Because he's at the point now where we can do a 1, 2, Ignite, he'll retaliate, and Thunder Surge will kill. There was also a loop there with then D-Link. It's a lot slower, not as fun. But Zac 1 is actually a harder fight in a lot of ways, because the loop is very consistent, and Zac 1 can retaliate in weird ways which aren't as consistent. Say hello to, by far, the hardest fight in the entire speedrun. Just press X. And let's press X again. And oh boy, this is scary. Quick turn, 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 press X, press X, press X, turn, 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 X, 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 come on, X, X, X. Oh my god, we're going to die. Press X, we're good. That thing doesn't even give Terra experience, doesn't even give his commands experience. I don't know what that thing's there for. Makes 0 sense to me. Now for an actually kind of tough fight. The spawns in this force fight are very weird. Like, in such a way where our magnets have to be positioned in weird ways to encompass as many guys as possible. Like, we're going to have a couple robotic guys on each side of the room, kind of trying to capture one and pray the other one gets captured at some point. Then the last wave will spawn. Hopefully it dies in the magnet. It didn't, but it was recovered pretty well. Those robot guys have little lasers that can snipe you from all the way across the room, so it's very important to get them in the magnets as quickly as possible. Otherwise they can be a right pain in the butt. So now we're on our way to the experiment fight here in good old Deep Space. We have to go out in actual space for a bit. And then we get to do cool movement tech. If we needed a wellspring chest, it's over there. We don't need it. So we're going to go up to this wall, do Cinderella D-Link, jump, lock on, Enchanted Step, and it pulls us all the way up. Like, we just gained the ability to fly for a minute. Don't ask me why. That fleeting crystals good for attack haste stuff. Because attack haste, like I said, are good to have for the end of the game. And now we're going to make our way to Sparky, as I like to call him. So, Sparky here has a couple types of attacks. He likes to charge at us, like this. He'll do it 2 times. And he likes to go on the ground and do this AoE thunder thing, which just deals a crap ton of damage. There it is. If you get hit by his AoE thing like that, then you just instantly die. One shot, nothing you can do about it. So I am keeping my distance from the little electric rodent. Essentially, we're just trying to get his health down at a safe distance as much as possible. Mostly ignite stuff. But most of the time he's going to head into these guns. We can't do anything about these guns. We can attack the guns, but we can't deal any real damage to them. And these guns kill us in 2 hits, and 1 hit typically staggers you. So you almost always get hit again. So yeah, it's not a lot of fun. We don't want to deal with it. On the lower difficulties in the beginner run, you just destroy the guns with reckless abandon, and Sparky pops out, and it's no big deal. On crit, like, nothing we can do. You just kind of have to put up with it. Run in the circle, you won't get hit. Pops back out. He has this attack, which is new. Otherwise, his attacks are the same, but he does it more often. Like, he'll charge 3 times instead of 2 sort of thing. But he's just going to throw these at us, and we can use the Thunder Surge to finish him off. You'll notice we learn Thunderbolts from beating Sparky. Thunderbolt is the command style for using thunder commands. The reason we do Deep Space after Olympus is because if we had Thunderbolts during 10 rounds, we would go into Thunderbolt during our Magnet Thunder stuff, and that would waste time with animations and stuff. So it's faster to do it after. Okay, Neverland. This is my favorite force fight in the game, and also the hardest. So, at the start, Magnet Thunder floods, then we're going to place a magnet for these totem poles, go over towards the middle, place a magnet, Thunder, Mind Square will wipe out the next wave, spawn in some birds, Aqua Finisher will clean up 2 of the 3 guys, this little bird we can clean up ourselves, and now we're going to get a bunch of these ape dudes. You'll notice that magnet doesn't affect these guys, so we're going to have to get a bit trickier. What I'm trying to do is if you switch your target really quickly after using Ignite like that, you can actually have your Ignite hit more than 1 target. Like, the Ignite actually damages both of those enemies over time, which is very cool. So, and then it's a bunch of hitting and Thunder Surging typically, because they stagger well. They just don't like getting caught by a magnet. Doesn't do anything. It's the last we have to deal with those ape guys, though. So, last shopping trip of the game, I'm selling every command that I don't need, essentially. Which, I got a decent amount of drops, so that's not that big a deal in this case. And now I'm going to buy 3 Thunder Surges and a block. You know, I said Thunder Surge is the best command in the game. You will get a good chance to see why. In the meantime, we're just going to make our way over. The Sonic Impact we equipped it in Neverland, or in OC, was specifically for that movement, and for the movement in the next room, because it destroys these rocks. The rocks just don't want to die for the most part otherwise. And a Sonic Impact can also do some neat movement in this room, where when you fall into water, you kind of come out like that. It's kind of neat. Basically, Sonic Impact is only for movement in this world. And now, we come upon the true villain of this entire video game. Peter Pan. The information says put him in his place. That's exactly what we're going to do. It just so happens that his place is the entrance of this cave, opposite where we're looking. So we're just going to put 7 knights on him for good measure, then go into Vendee-Link, stick him over in his place by the cave entrance, and just wail on him. I'm doing 2 hits in the middle of it because that gets you the actual finisher quicker than doing full combos. But yeah, his place is over by the entrance. Nice and easy. And so we have to leave the cave just to watch a cutscene and immediately come back into the cave. Because in the cave are a bunch of jellyfish. Like I said, the jellyfish can be scary, but they also die from magnets. That's all you need to hit them with. He hit me out of my magnet, which sucks, but what can you do? Pick up a bunch of these blue orbs so we can get D-Link back and go into Aqua. We lost our D-Link for going into Ven. So what this fight actually allows us to do is get the last levels we need on some of our commands. It allows our Magneras to get to level 3, it allows our Curas to get to level 3, and it allows our Ignites to get to level 4. Which is all necessary to make the final deck that we need to make for the final fights. Because we're done with Disney Worlds, we just have cutscenes, and we have some terrifying, terrifying fights that make a lot of people not want to run this category. So, first, last menu of the game. We have to sit through some commands leveling up. Now, all this crap we've been holding on to, melt it all. Fire Dash with a Thundara will give us a Thunder Surge. I got Leaf Bracer with it. Fire Dash plus Ignite will give us a Fire Surge. The Curas together with a Pulsing is a Curaga of Second Chance. Esnua with Block. The Esnua we got in Radiant Garden gives us Renewal Block. Magneras with Wellsprings. It's a Magnaga with Once More. Now we're going to end up with 6 Surges, 5 Thunder and 1 Fire. A Curaga and a Thundara with all the commands we need, plus a Renewal Block, and I get rid of Sonic Impact. Renewal Block is literally your block, but any incoming damage that you take, you actually recover HP, based off the amount of damage that would have been taken if you did not block it. Which is very, very important for this fight, coming right up. Good old Master Jedi, Mark Hamill, Vimene Aragus. So, the reason I wanted Attack Haste so much is because these surges are going to come off cooldown really quickly. As you can see, it's very nice. This fight is essentially, I'm trying to loop him. So I want to hit him with surges, then he's going to hit me. Then I want him to hit me back so I can block it and essentially keep doing that endlessly. He's being kind of mean about it. He didn't immediately attack me, which is forcing me to use my cure. Now I don't have a cure on cooldown, so I'm relying on my Renewal Block to save me. He's doing this, which is very easy to block, so we're good. But we're going to hit him until he hits me, then we're going to block it, then we're going to continue hitting him until he hits me. Couple notes. Remember that Soothing Crystal all the way back in Castle of Dreams we got when I got an HP boost? It's specifically for this fight. It might look at some points like I'm at 1 HP and he's hitting me and I only lose 1 HP. That's because I'm actually at 2 HP because of my HP boost, and Second Chance and Once More means I stay alive at 1 HP. Also, the counter hammer I equipped was entirely for this fight to stagger him, to get him off me a bit. But, like, in this case I have 2 HP, so I know I can wail on him without dying on the next hit. But that's the idea of the fight. You hit him, you can block his damage, get healed. It's good stuff. Sometimes he likes to be a pain in the butt, but you can recover most of the time, like I managed to do there. And now on to the final world in the game. Keyblade Graveyard. So first things first, in this next room there are a bunch of big tornadoes that if you get caught in them you have to do these very long fights with like giant unversed. All you have to do is skirt the corners of them and you will be fine. One of them will start tracking you until you get close to the other one and none of them can catch you. It's all good. But onward to the final boss rush. So the first of our final boss rush is Zane Orc Venetus, which is my personal least favorite of these three final bosses, because he really likes to troll you. But I'm going to dash forward to make Zane Orc go away, then I'm going to go into Peter Pan D-Link. I'm jumping and attacking, because that fills up D-Link faster than just attacking. Then, once I have the Sword Bill finisher, I'm shot locking to get him to do this orb thing. Then, up in the air, Sword Bill, dead. I don't know what the lighting effects are doing, but he's dead. So, EXP 0, again, it magnifies your finishers bit to the battle level of the world. Sword Bill is over 100 little tiny finishers that hit really, really quickly. So each of them being boost to the battle level of the world means you're boosting a lot of finishers to do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, that's the only fight that we can actually use him in Terra's run to good effect. So this fight, good old Surges. Essentially, what I'm trying to do is stick him in a corner and keep him there. He doesn't like that. He's going to try breaking out. When he does break out, I dodge first to see what he does, because if I don't dodge, he can sometimes just dodge out of the way and then murder me. So I'm just making sure he stays in front of me, making sure I know what he does. The Keyblade attack is kind of scary, but nothing that can't be handled. And now on to the last fight. The fight that really, really scares most people away. This is Pestle D, aka Terra. Say hello. He just took charge of our body, so we're a disembodied armor, basically. And the idea is he takes attacks that we have. This is ours Arcanum. We can use Thunder Surges to kind of mess with it. You know how I said Thunder Surges are the best ability in the game? Reason for that is, one, the Thunder Surge hits multiple times, as long as you're just on him while it's going on. And number two, it's giving us enough iframes that as he's doing all these attacks, we're hitting him 3 times at least each, and we're also not getting any damage dealt to us in return. Basically, all the commands that we have bought and leveled up in this entire speedrun was built around the sole idea of giving us these exact commands for this exact fight. And so we got into second phase. Now he's doing our Solemn. He sticks a hand out. We can like that. We can surge him with hands. He likes to cure. He typically cures 2 times in an average fight. You can sometimes cure less, sometimes more. 1 cure is very rare. I've never gotten cureless. This is his desperation move. He pulls a bunch of meteors out of the air. Like, no big deal. We can shot lock through it, because Flame Salvo iframes are insane. But this whole fight is a long marathon of him throwing stuff at us and us reacting. Like, if he shot locks, we have to either dodge it or interrupt it. If he does the Ars attack, we have to punish it at the exact right timings to make sure we're not getting hit. In this case, he threw meteor at us while doing a desperation move, so I had to use Thunder Surge iframes just to escape the meteor. It's all about patience, knowing his patterns, being able to retaliate in the right ways at the right moment in time. Like, it's very much a knowledge-based fight. So you can wait that shot lock out and hit him with a lot of them. Does a lot of damage. It's pretty cool. But he's going to teleport around now. We're going to respond to these Ars attacks the best that we can. This thing we normally shot lock, but I'm going to iframe through it, mostly. Then we're going to kill him. That is time. Whew. And that is also a world record by 2 seconds. Because, you know, that's Birth by Sleep in a nutshell. But the best part, he sits down, his defeated enemy. What does he do? He grows a cape! Let's go, cape! It's no fun if he doesn't grow the cape. Hey, they added that in they added that later for some reason. I don't know why. But literally in the plot, the only thing that this does is have Terra grow a cape. Like, you kill Zane Orc's body, and yet you're still just a disembodied soul thing. Like, it doesn't affect anything. KH, what can you do? But, that is Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix. Terra, any percent on the hardest difficulty. Thank you so much for watching. Whoever this might be, for whatever reason, as always, I appreciate your time. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you have an awesome day, whoever you are. Thanks. Take care.